Hey guys, it's Matt. I've been carrying this for over a year now and it's tearing me apart. I've tried to move on, but I can't. I need to tell you what happened because if I don't get it out, I think I'll lose it. Last summer, July 2024, my wife Sarah and I went camping in the Cascades up in Washington. We needed to unplug. Work was killing us. The city was too loud, and we just wanted a few days of peace. We'd camped before, loved the simplicity of it. A tent, a fire, the stars. But this trip, it changed everything. I'm going to try to keep it together, but this is real. And I need you to feel the terror we lived through. It was our second night out there, July 14th. We'd hiked to this perfect spot by a creek, about a mile off the main trail, nestled in a clearing surrounded by towering pines. The air was crisp, smelling of damp earth and resin. Sarah was glowing, her curly brown hair catching the firelight as she roasted marshmallows, her laugh echoing softly. "Matt, you're gonna burn yours again," she teased, her green eyes dancing with mischief. I grinned, poking at the fire, thinking, this is it. This is what life's supposed to be. We crawled into our tent around 10 p.m., zipped it tight against the chill, and I fell asleep to the rhythm of her breathing beside me. I don't know what snapped me awake. It was deep night, maybe 2 or 3 a.m., and the air felt wrong, like it was pressing down on me, heavy with something I couldn't name. I reached for Sarah, but her sleeping bag was cold, empty. My heart lurched. "Sarah," I whispered, sitting up, my voice swallowed by the dark. Nothing. I scrambled for my flashlight, hands trembling, and unzipped the tent. "Sarah, you out there?" I called, louder now. The woods were silent. No crickets, no owls, not even a breeze. Just this suffocating void. I stumbled outside, bare feet sinking into damp dirt, and saw her hiking boots still by the tent. She'd never go anywhere without them. I swept the flashlight around, the beams shaking in my grip. That's when I heard it, a rustle maybe 20 yards out, like something heavy dragging through brush. I swung the light, and for a split second, I caught something. A shape, too tall, too thin, slipping behind a tree. My pulse roared in my ears. "Sarah, if that's you, say something," I shouted, my voice cracking. Silence. I should have stayed put, grabbed my phone, anything, but panic clawed at me. I snatched my knife, a cheap folding blade I'd bought at a gas station, and started toward the sound, calling her name, each step sinking me deeper into the dark. The rustling came again, faster now, like deliberate footsteps, crunching leaves. I pushed through underbrush, thorns snagging my jeans, and then I saw it. Her blue jacket, bright even in the dark, tangled in a thorn bush. My stomach dropped. I grabbed it, the fabric torn, and the smell hit me, rotten like roadkill left in the sun. Not Sarah, but something else. Something wrong. I spun, shining the light in every direction, my breath hitching. "Sarah, please, where are you?" I whispered. Then came the laugh, low, guttural, like it rose from the ground itself. My skin crawled. "Who's there?" I screamed. "Where's my wife?" A voice answered, slow and raspy, like it belonged to someone who hadn't spoken in years. "She's ours now, city boy." It seemed to come from everywhere, nowhere, echoing in my skull. I stumbled back, tripping over roots, yelling for Sarah. Another voice cut through, high and giggling, like a kid high on something twisted. "She's pretty, gonna keep her, gonna dress her up." My blood turned to ice. There were at least 2 of them, and they had her. I sprinted back to the tent, heart pounding so hard I thought I'd pass out. I grabbed my phone. No signal, not out here, and shoved the knife in my pocket. I couldn't just sit there waiting for them to come for me too. I headed back toward where I'd found her jacket, moving as quietly as I could, though every snapped twig sounded like a gunshot in the silence. The whole time, I felt eyes on me, like the forest itself was alive, watching, waiting. I kept whispering, "Sarah, I'm coming, just hold on." Like it'd keep her alive, like it'd keep me from breaking. After what felt like hours, time was a blur, my phone's clock useless with no signal. I stumbled onto this shack. It was a rotting husk, boards sagging under moss and mildew, like it had been swallowed by the woods decades ago. The smell was unbearable, thick with decay, like death had settled in. A faint flicker came from a cracked window, maybe a candle or lantern. My pulse thundered, drowning out everything else. I crept to the door, barely hanging on rusted hinges, and pushed it open. The creak was so loud I flinched, expecting something to pounce. Inside, the air was sour, heavy with rot. The walls were a nightmare, animal skulls nailed up, some with dried flesh clinging to bone, others cracked and yellowed. Jars lined a sagging shelf, filled with what looked like teeth, maybe fingernails, glinting in the dim light. And there, on the dirt floor, was Sarah's backpack, ripped open, her water bottle and journal spilling out. "Sarah," I whispered, stepping inside, my voice barely a breath. Biggest mistake of my life. Something heavy slammed into my back, and I hit the floor, pain exploding in my skull. My knife skittered across the dirt. I rolled over, gasping, and saw them. 2 men, brothers, I think. But wrong. The tall one was gaunt, his flannel hanging off him like it was draped on a skeleton, his eyes sunken and glassy, like he hadn't slept in months. He held a rusted machete, dragging it lazily across the floor, the scrapes setting my teeth on edge. The shorter one was stocky, his grin showing half-rotted teeth, clutching Sarah's red scarf like a kid with a new toy. His giggle made my stomach churn. "Where is she?" I choked out, scrambling back, my hands slipping in the dirt. The tall one tilted his head, studying me like I was prey. "You don't belong here," he said, his voice like gravel grinding together. "But you came looking, brave, stupid." The short one stepped closer, twirling the scarf, his eyes gleaming. She screamed real nice. Want to hear her scream again? Want to see her bleed? I lunged for the knife, desperation overriding sense, but the tall one kicked it into the shadows. "None of that," he growled. "You want to see her? You play our game." I was shaking, tears burning my eyes, but I nodded. What else could I do? They yanked me to my feet, their hands cold and rough, and shoved me toward a trap door in the floor. The smell from it hit like a wave. Rotting meat, blood, something worse. "Down there," the short one said, pushing me so hard I nearly fell. I stumbled down rickety wooden steps into a basement, the air so thick I gagged. And there she was, Sarah tied to a splintered chair, duct tape over her mouth, her eyes wide with terror. Blood trickled from a cut on her forehead, matting her hair. She saw me and thrashed, muffled screams ripping through the tape. "Matt, run!" she sobbed when the short one tore the tape off, her voice raw. I tried to reach her, but the tall one grabbed my arm, twisting it until I screamed, my shoulder burning. "Game first," he said, calm as death. "You win. You take her. You lose." He dragged the machete across the wall, the screech like a banshee's wail. Their game was pure sadism. They forced me into a tunnel off the basement, a claustrophobic hole barely wide enough for my shoulders. The walls were slimy, coated in mold or blood or God knows what. The air so foul I could barely breathe. They said if I made it to the end, they'd let us go. I didn't believe them, not for a second, but I had to try. I crawled, the darkness swallowing me, their voices echoing above through cracks in the earth. He's gonna die down there. Cut him open, see what's inside. Make him squeal like her. My hands were raw, nails splitting as I clawed forward, my knees bleeding through my jeans. I kept going, picturing Sarah's face, her laugh by the fire, telling myself I'd get her out. It felt like hours, my body screaming, my mind fraying. The tunnel seemed to twist, narrowing until I could barely move. I thought I'd be trapped, suffocating. But finally, I saw a faint glow. I dragged myself out, gasping, into a clearing. And they were there, waiting. The tall one clapped, slow, mocking. "You're fun," he said, his grin all teeth. But we lied. The short one giggled, raising a hatchet I hadn't seen before. I snapped. I don't know how, but I tackled the short one, slamming him into the dirt. I grabbed a jagged rock and smashed it into his face, blood spraying, his screams gurgling as he clawed at me. The tall one roared, swinging the machete. But I rolled away, the blade biting into the ground. I scrambled up, sprinted back to the shack, and found Sarah still in the basement, barely conscious. I cut her ropes with a shard of glass, my hands slick with blood. Mine, theirs, I don't know. "Come on, baby, we're going," I whispered, half dragging her up the steps. We ran, crashing through the woods, branches tearing at our skin, her hand slipping in mine from sweat and blood. We're okay," I kept saying, lying to us both, my voice breaking. The forest seemed to close in, shadows moving just out of sight. I swore I heard that giggle behind us, that machete scraping bark. Dawn finally broke, gray light filtering through the trees, and we stumbled onto the trail, collapsing as a ranger's truck rolled by. I screamed for help, waving my arms like a madman. The cops searched for days, dogs, helicopters, everything. They found nothing. No shack, no brothers, no trace of that hell. Like it had been erased. Sarah's different now. She barely speaks, flinches at loud noises, wakes up screaming, clawing at the sheets. Me? I can't look at trees without seeing their faces, the tall one's dead eyes, the short one's rotten grin. I keep the knife by my bed, check the locks 10 times a night. I don't know if they're still out there, waiting, watching. But I feel them. And I know they know our names.